Hi, I'm Lindsay from Shreve Memorial Library and welcome to Art Club. This week, next week, and the week after that, we will be doing themed paintings beyond just like Halloween or whatever. This year, the One Book, One Parish selection is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, who also wrote The Night Circus. It's fantastic. I know I talked about it a little bit last week. I absolutely love this book, and you should totally read it. Anyway, so there are three big symbols in it. It's a bee, a key, and a sword. So you see we're going to do the bee this week, we're going to do the key next week, and we're going to do the sword. Now, how they fit into the novel without really giving any spoilers are there's this big underground library, and for the people who want to stay down there are three ways that they can kind of become servants of the library, and one of them is the acolyte, and their symbol is the bee. So yeah, I'm not going to get farther into it. Like, just seriously read it. It's so good. If you like The Night Circus, you will love it. It's different, but you will love it. If you didn't read The Night Circus and you like kind of fantasy type stuff, you would totally be into it. Fantastic book. Possibly my favorite book that I read last year. That's quite possible. Anyway, so we're going to do a bee today. And the painting that you see in the bottom probably left is the result. All I've done is draw it so far. So it's going to be an adventure. We'll see how it turns out. I'm really a little bit nervous because I want black backgrounds on these things. And there's a lot of black and bees. So we're going to go with gray, and it's going to be a time. Anyway, here's what you'll need for this painting. You'll need a pencil with an eraser of some sort. You're going to need 3 colors of paint: white, black, and yellow. If you have choice between yellow, if you have more than one, go with the warmer one. This one's called Naples Yellow. You don't need to use that one, and really don't, because there are several versions of Naples Yellow that are, and it's a situation. Hopefully this one will turn out okay. Anyway, you'll need, this is great for crayons, this is great for however you want to color it. I'm just using paints. I'm using gouache. If you want a long discussion about gouache and what it is, look at last week's video, the first 10 minutes or so. I explain. The main thing is these act like acrylic, and in fact these specific ones are acrylic, but they don't have the they don't have the kind of sheen that is on top of acrylic paints when they dry. They have a completely matte finish, which gets rid of the glare problem for me here that I was having before. So you'll need 3 paints or crayons or whatever you're going with, or go with completely different colors. I'm also going to use a chalk pencil, which you can use with acrylics. You can draw over it, and then you can wipe whatever is left off with a damp cloth. Never tried it with gouache. It should work with acrylic gouache. That'll be an adventure too. And for the wings, I'm using a paint marker. You can get them cheaply from wherever. You can, if you don't have that, really, you can just go in with a charcoal marker and do it. If you're using something like watercolor, white gel pens work really well. There are a lot of options. You can just go in with it with a paintbrush, and it'll be just fine. I'm not that brave today, so I'm going to use a paint marker. And if you're going to get a paint marker, if you just want to get one, get a white one. It will help you with a lot of things. They're fantastic. I know you can get them, I think you can get them locally from a couple craft stores. But anyway, so I'm going to use this for the wings. And I have paintbrushes, and I have water, and I have palette paper. A paper plate works great for palette paper. I'm using watercolor paper today. It really doesn't matter what you're painting on. This is cut to 5x7. You don't need to be doing it 5x7. In fact, the traceable, which is, there's a link to it in the description, is a PDF that prints out to 8x10. So, use what you've got. I'm gonna use this stuff, and yeah, let's do this. It'll be fun. I've got my pencil. I'm gonna start sketching out this bee. I am using as a reference the traceable that I did from another reference. I just have the line drawings here. Let's see. So the main part of the bee is 2 ovals, right? So I'm going to put this one, and the wings are wide. Like the wings are going to go out to here. So I don't want the bee itself to be too big. So I'm going to say the main oval is here. And draw very, very lightly so you can change it. And that's going to be too big, already erasing. Use a pencil with a good eraser and make light marks so you can get the lines you want. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a very, very messy oval here and then just kind of clean it up. Okay. Want it to be, that'll do. Okay, and then this other one comes, it's bigger. It's out from this one. I'll say it's gonna come down to here. Okay. It's about the same width, just longer. Okay. And make it a little bit rounder. Okay, and then erase these extra lines. Before I paint this, I think I'm going to go back with a big eraser and lighten all the lines in general. I'll widen his rear end a little bit. I think that is going to be good. I draw these traceables digitally on an iPad, and going in and then afterward drawing them, like, you know, with an actual pencil is a very different experience. Okay, so there's the body of our bee, okay? So we're going to go next and put some wings on him. It starts about here. We're going to take the wings out almost to the edge. So this kind of angles, make sure, yeah, you can see it. Starts in here, angles up, it goes above here just a little bit, almost to the edge. All right, and it comes in, out again, and this comes down, and then kind of hits that round like that. Okay, and this one, actually we might end up painting over these somewhat anyway. So just try and draw this one on the other side and mirror it. Do your best. It's one advantage of doing things digitally. You can be like, I want to copy this on the other side. It's not a good enough angle right there. Better. It's not perfect. It's fine. Most, if not all, of nature is asymmetrical. I bet bees aren't exactly symmetrical even. So we are just gonna do our best. Let's see, how are these different? This needs to go higher, like that. And this Pretty good. Okay, so the details in the wings I'm not going to mess with right now. I'm only going to mess with the general shape of them, and then when we go back with the paint marker on top of the paint, then we'll worry about the rest of it. Okay, so next let's draw his little head. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a couple ovals, just like that, and like that, generally the same size, and then it kind of arches up just a little in the middle. There we go. And then we can give him antennae, which we will probably paint over, but that's okay. Okay. Then let's give him legs. So out from here, I'm just going to draw little segmented legs as rectangles. So, and then just kind of mirror them on the other side. And they get smaller as they go to the top. There's one. And then two, three. I like that one better. I make the middle one up a little bit and make it a little bit bigger. Better. Okay. And then right out from under the wings, we have that. Little skinny rectangles. It's a shorter one. This one comes out a little bit. Okay. One more over here. Trying to make them about the same length. And about the same angle. Your mileage may vary. Okay. And then right here, I have some coming out. These have 4 longer segments. The bottom one we're going to curve a little bit. Okay, and this one's long, and it goes, just curve it in like that. Okay, the same thing over here. Oop, separate from his body a little bit. Okay. Okay. Three. And then this one is going to curve in a little bit. Okay. We're almost done with this drawing. Let's see, I'm going to do a line here, and one right here, like that. Then a line right here, and this will be black, and that will be black, and one across right here, wide one. You can do them all the same width if you want. I'm not. Then a narrow one. If you look at these, they don't seem, maybe some of them do, but the one that I used as a reference did not have same width stripes. Okay, and other narrow one. And here is the sketch of our bee. Now, here's how I'm going to do this. First of all, I'm going to take an eraser. You can use the one on your pencil. And I am going to lighten all these lines a little bit. Just so they, especially like on the body of the bee, this doesn't matter that much with this one, but I'm just going to do it. So I chose the wrong eraser for this situation. I just kind of drew the lines back in. Since I'm using opaque paint, it won't be that big of a deal. Yeah, that was an art mistake. That's okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to first paint the yellow sections of the bee, and we can go back and edit that some later. I just want those parts to be bright, and because after that we're going to go back and do a lot of black painting in, but I want that to be bright, and I'll have to do several coats if I try to do it on top of black. So I'm going to start with the yellow and just paint the yellow sections yellow. Okay, there are my yellow bits. Now, since I want a black background, what I'm going to do is I am going to paint the bee gray. So I'm going to get black and white. And we are going to mix ourselves a gray. See it. Okay. So I want it closer to black, and the way that you usually choose which one you mix first is the color that you want the result to be closest to. I want it closest to black. I'm not going to make it, we'll see. Let's see. I want it dark, but I want it to stand out, like against the black. There are other things that we can do too to make it stand out more. Let's see if we need to do that. Okay. So here it is. You see this? It's pretty dark. Reasonably dark gray. I'm going to go and I'm going to paint the black bits of the bee, and then I'm going to go and do the legs too. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush when I do that. Okay, for the eyes right now, I'm going to add a little bit more black to a little bit of it. Like that, and just get a darker gray. I was kind of hoping this would dry a little bit darker, but alas, we'll see. We can add some details that will make it a little darker later. First, we need to see how it stands out against the black, though. Okay, now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna paint black, and you see I haven't added any of the details of the wings. I want to keep the general shape of my wings. Now we can do this. You can do this in one of two ways. We can do this in a lot of ways. This is just the way I'm doing it. What I'm gonna do is I am going to paint the background black, okay? I'm going to paint over the antennae completely. I'm gonna leave just a tiny little line where the wings are. If it crosses itself a few times, that doesn't matter. I just wanna remember where they were, and without having to like go back and completely redraw them. So that's how I'm gonna do it. Your mileage may vary. We'll see how this works. I'm just gonna paint black around the whole thing and just try to leave just a little bit of a line just so we know where the wings are. So in hindsight, you know how hindsight's 2020, yeah. This was probably not the best way to do this, but this is the way we just did this. If you're watching this ahead of time, really, I guess what we should have done is just painted it black and then gone back in with this. You see I got all over my hand. And just drew it in and then painted over the black. But the reason that I chose not to do that was the opacity of paint. And I think that for most people, unless you're using like fancy super thick and pigmented paint, you might have opacity issues, and it might take a bunch of coats where you don't want to do a bunch of coats. And so that's why I did it this way. I don't know. You can make your own decision about whether your paintings in the future you want to go that way. But here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to dry it completely, and then I'm going to go back and first I'm going to clean up the gray. The yellow turned out okay. I'm gonna clean up the gray next, but I have to make sure it's dry first. I will call this dry enough. I still see a couple little spots, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go back with my little brush. Well, first, I find mixing is easier with bigger brushes. Now this is no, it hasn't dried. That's nice. Okay, so since this hasn't completely dried, I'm gonna go see how much mileage I can get out of this mix. I'm gonna do it. Mix some more. Probably take it just a little bit darker, and I am going to go back over and fix my legs. Okay, there are my legs. I'm okay with them. If yours are jagged, that's great because bees have hairy legs. That's how they pick up pollen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more black, mix a darker gray. I'm going to go in with my little brush. Okay. Go in and then make them look a little bit furry. Just by doing little bits of hair. Just kind of little scribbles. And this way, we're adding a little bit of dimension. Barely touching the paper. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on his body with this darker gray. I go in, I don't want a ton of paint on my brush. I'm just going to go in and do like little jagged lines that are kind of messy and kind of look like this little cute little fur. You see what I'm doing? I don't have much paint on my brush, and I'm just kind of scribbling in here to make him just a little bit more interesting. And I think What else I'm going to do with the eyes? I'm going to put a little bit of shine on them. I get some light gray, like, make sure you can see that. You see how that's just lighter. Get even lighter. I don't want white for sure. I just want light gray. I'm going to put light bit on his eyes. I'm going to get my brush, twist it so it turns round. A little dot to show that his eyes are round. And that'll help them stand out a little bit. Okay, if you want, can go and do, and I guess I will. Okay, so looks like my Naples yellow has dried. What I'm going to do is get a little bit of Naples yellow and white. Some gray in that, but that doesn't matter. So gray will probably help it, in fact. More white. So this is gray and pretty much a light gray and Naples yellow. I'm gonna do is get more yellow. And this is a lighter color. I'm gonna go in like this and do the same thing with the yellow that I did with the dark gray, and make him just seem a little bit furry. Just give him, can you see that even? I don't know if you can see it on mine. I can see it. Just we're giving him a little bit of dimension, but just go and like scribble in a little bit of hair. Okay, so I added a little bit of yellowy hair, and I'm hoping you could see it. It's one interesting thing about gouache is a lot of colors have a big color shift as they dry, and you might have noticed that gray that I put on there for the hair got darker, while the yellow, the yellowy hair got lighter, which is usually the opposite of what happens, and that's why I don't always recommend gouache for beginners, because it can be weird, but it has a really big color shift. Anyway, but yeah, you probably just saw it there, and I think it's kind of neat. It's just something that you have to get used to, so you kind of know how stuff is going to act. Anyway, I think this hair and the little eye gleams made our bee hair look much better. I think you can see it well enough. The difference between the grays and the black. The last little thing I'm going to do before we go to the wings is I'm going to get some of the dark gray that we did the hair with, and I'm going to put in the segments for the legs. Just like, I'm just going to hint at them and be like, hey, there are segments here. So I'm just going to put them like right here. It's kind of showing like a little shadow or something. So that made our legs look a little bit more segmented. And now that's it for my paintbrush portion. If you need to use a paintbrush for the wings, go to. It'll be okay. Just use this small brush and go slow. If you can't see your wings at all, like I can see the general shape of them, that's what this is for. Go back with your white pen and mark it so you can change it if you need to, but I can still see mine, so I'm going to dig out my paint marker and shake it up really good and test it and make sure it's going to work. There we go. Okay, now be sure that everything is dry when you do this part, okay? So let's see, you can see that. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to turn this. I'm just going to draw the white over the outside shape of the wings. and they're going to go into the body a little bit, just like about there, and just go over this shape I left. I'm probably going to have to do 2 coats. Okay. Now I see some little white spots in my painting, and that's going to bother me. So I have the wings in, and now if you need to touch up the black, now is a good time to do it. I'm going to touch up the black, just get all of the little white tiny bits I see with just plain black, and then I'm going to dry it, and then we're going to finish the wings. Okay, I have done touched up the black and I dried it, and now I'm going to go back and give my wings a second coat. Okay, give my wings a second coat, and now I'm going to go in with the pen and I'm going to do the details. And just think of this, it kind of looks like stained glass. You don't need to copy what I'm doing exactly, just kind of do it yourself. Now that do it your own way. Now I see the wing on the right is bigger than the wing on the left, but that's okay. So here are the general lines I'm going to do. I'm going to do one in the middle, and this is going down here like that. Okay, I'll do one over here. Just kind of goes toward the middle. Okay, and then there's another one that kind of divides this like that, and then another one that kind of divides this like that. Now I have, let's see, this curved line like that. I'm going to mirror it over here. Both sides do not need to be exactly the same. Okay, and then up in here is just like this. It's kind of like little curved lines. Don't worry about them. They don't need to be perfect. Okay, so like that. Just keep making curved lines. You can go down to the base of the wing. I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to stay along the lines of the traceable, but it's not going to be exact, which is fine. Let's see. You see how this is working? It kind of, make sure you can see it. It looks like stained glass, kind of. So let's see. I'm going to do one up like that, and then up like that, and then just more of these little arcs. Okay, there's one wing, and then yeah, kind of like this one up here. I do the same thing here. Okay, and then just gonna make more of these little stained glass things. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna do. I am going to let it dry and give it one more coat because this isn't entirely opaque. Okay, there is my second coat. I'm happy with that. And you know, all that's left is to sign it. So I don't want to sign it in white. I want it to be more, to blend in a little bit more than that. So I'm going to get this gray that's still wet. There. Sign it in the bottom corner. Don't forget to sign your painting. It's awesome because you did it. And here's my bee. I was a little concerned about it for a while, but I think it turned out really nice. I am very, very happy with this bee. I hope you are happy with your bee. Now we'll pull this off and it will look even better because it always looks better with nice white edges. Let's see. Yes. I really like this. I think he turned out really nice. Okay. Okay, here is the first of what will be our little triptych. A bee, a key, and a sword. I hope you enjoyed this. I did. I was a little bit concerned, but he turned out really well. So, yeah, next week we'll be doing a key. I'm going to be using the same kind of paint and the same paper and all of that. And that will be fun. I'll be doing it the same size, and it will have a black background, so they'll all go together at the end. It'll be neato. And anyway, if you painted along today, or colored along, or drew along, or whatever, please take a picture of what you did and send it to the library's social media. We love to see what you do. And thank you for joining me. I will see you next week for more Art Club. Bye.